Hello guys, good afternoon. So we are on lesson 17 today in unit 1 of our phonics program. So it is a fun lesson. We got some new stuff going on today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay. All right, so we are on lesson 17. So just like we have done the last few days, we are going to start with our mix it up. Remember, you're going to hold the bowl and pretend to be mixing it up, and you're going to repeat after me. Mix it up, fix it up. Listen carefully. Mix it up, fix it up. Listen carefully. Mix it up, fix it up. Say it after me. Mix it up, fix it up. Say it after me. All right, so then I'm going to tell you some words, and then we're going to change part of the sound. But when I do this, I want you to get out your phonics journal, okay? And I want you to practice writing them down. See if this helps you figure out what the new sound is going to be. So we're going to go to page 14 of your phonics journal. So go ahead and get your phonics journal out and turn to page 14. Put today's date at the top, which is 9/23. And then go ahead and write on the top, write mix it up, okay? See how I have mix it up on the top of my page. 9/23 and mix it up. And I'm going to tell you the word, and you're going to write the word, and then we're going to say the new sound, and you're going to try to figure out what it's going to be. Okay. All right. So the first word is pen, like a pen. Okay. N. N. Okay. So we have pen. So if you need to pause the video to write the word, you can go ahead and do that and then push play when you're ready to keep going, okay? So we're going to change the sound in the middle from eh to ah, an, an, an. So our new word went from pen, P-E-N, to pan, P-A-N. N went to an. Good. Did you get that one right? All right, the next word is hat. At. At. And we are going to change the I part of that word, and we're going to make it say aw. Huh, ought. Huh, ought. Remember, if you need to pause the video, you can do that. Pause the video and then work on it, and then you can hit play again when you're ready to go. So we had the word hat, at, H-A-T, and we wanted to change the sound to ought, ought, H-O-T. Good. All right, the next word is tab, ab, ab. And we're going to make it say, we're going to take away the t part. We're going to take away the t part. So our new word is ab, ab. Okay, so we went from ab to ab. Good. All right, the next word is lap, lap, lap. And we're going to change the ah sound in the middle to the eh sound. So now it's l, ip, l, ip. All right. So we went from lap to lip, lap to lip. Good. All right, so the next word is flute, flute. Flute. All right, we're going to take away the sound at the beginning. And now it's just going to be lute, lute. Okay, so it changes the way it's spelled, but you're just worried about the sounds right now, okay? So we had flute, flute, and we took away the f sound, and then we just had lute. Okay, so it went from flute to lute. All right, so now we have the word fell, fell, L. And I want you to change the eh sound in the middle to the eh sound. So our new word is ill, ill. Okay, so we went from fell, L, to ill, ill. Good. And then our last word is the word pan, an, and you're going to change it to n, n. So we went from pan to pen, and it's backwards from our first word. We went from pen to pan, and now we are pan to pin. I hope you guys did okay on this. All right, so we're going to go back to our screen. All right, so remember, I'm going to read you some sentences, and we're going to look at one word in the sentence, okay? The first sentence is put a knot in the string. Put a knot in the string, and the first word is string, string. If we break apart that phoneme, the blend phoneme, it's string, string. So we're going to keep the first part of the blend, the st part, but we're going to get rid of the so now it's just st-ing, st-ing. The new word on the curve is sting. Good. Our second word is stroke. Stroke the cat gently. Stroke. 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 So the blend, if we break it apart, is stroke. We're only going to keep the st part of the blend, though. We're not going to do the So oak. Oak. So the new word on the curve is stoke. Stoke. Good job. All right, our next sentence is the runner had a sprain in his ankle, and the word is sprain. 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 Good. So we're going to keep the first part of that blend, the sp part. We're going to get rid of the So now the new word is ain. Ain. And that is a country, and it is a proper noun. So we have to make sure we capitalize it. Spain is the new word on the curve. The next sentence is, he strove very hard to remain calm. Strove, strove, strove. If we break it apart, the blend is strove. Good. So we're going to keep the first part of the blend, the st part, and we're going to get rid of the So our new word is stove. Stove. The new word on the curve is stove. Very good. All right, and our last one is I have to scrape the paint off the table. The new word on the curve is scrape. Scrape. So the blend is scrape. Good, okay? So we're going to keep the first part of the scr blend. We're just going to keep the sk part. We're going to get rid of the So we have ape. Ape. Gape is the new word on the curve. All right, so now we're going to do our spoonerisms where I say something that's all mixed up and you are supposed to figure out how to fix it. Okay, so our spoonerism for today is phi mother. Phi mother. Remember, we're going to take the first letter of both words and we got to flip it to make it sound correct. Phi mother. What should that say? Do you need to see it? Here we go. Phi mother. What should that be? It should be my father. Very good. Okay, so our learning goals, our learning targets for today are I can read sounds from the consonant code flipbook, I can read tricky words, and I can ask and answer questions about key details in the story, The Fish. So we're going to do something new today. We're going to unscramble some sentences, okay? We can easily, they're going to be easy. Y'all are so smart, you can do this. So today we're going to unscramble sentences. So when something that is scrambled, it means that it is all mixed up. When we unscramble something, we put it back in order. So obviously, I'm not going to be able to call you to the board to tap on the word, but I'm going to have you look at the sentences and I want you to try to figure out what's going to come next. So here's our first sentence, the words for our first sentence. We have the word where, ham, was, and the. Now there should be some clues in here as to what should go first and what should go last. What does every sentence start with? Every sentence starts with a capital letter. And what does every sentence end with? Some sort of punctuation, whether it's a period or a question mark or an exclamation point. So those are the two clues that you can look for immediately when you're trying to unscramble a sentence. So thinking about that, what do you think the first word in our sentence should be? It should be the word where. Good. So now we have ham, was, and the. What do you think should go next? Where was. Where was. What should go next? The. Where was the ham? Where was the ham? That is a great sentence. So let's read that one together. Where was the ham? Make sure you make it sound like a sentence. Make it sound like a question. Questions sound different than regular sentences. They have like a lift at the end of it. Instead of saying, where was the ham? You would say, where was the ham? Okay, make it sound more like a question. Our next sentence, we have the words stuck, to, pan, it, and the. So based on our clues, we know that every sentence starts with a capital letter. Where is the capital letter in this sentence? It's the word it. That's right, the word it. Okay, so it, we have stuck, to, pan, and the. What should come next? It stuck. Good. It stuck to, pan, or the. It stuck to, okay, so it stuck to the, good, and the last word should be pan. It stuck to the pan. Let's read that one together. It stuck to the pan. Nice job. All right, so now we are going to go over some new sounds in our consonant flip book. So we have the sound j, j, like in the word orange or fringe. Okay, so the sound j, we know it can be made by the J, and sometimes it can be made by the G, but a new one is GE, like in fringe or orange. So we can have a G and an E together to make the J sound. And this power bar tells me it's not a very common way to spell that sound, but it's bigger than some of our power bars have been. Then we have the sound V, V, like in the word 12, 12. We have a V and an E at the end, and look, this power bar is pretty small. That tells me that it is not a very common way to spell the sound V. So now let's look at our code chart so we can make sure that we have the J sound and the V sound marked properly. Okay, so we are looking for the J sound on our chart. Here we go. So we have the J sound, and we have said that you can make the J sound with a J or with a G, like in the word gym. And then here's what we've just learned today. You can make the J sound with a GE, like in the word fringe. Okay, and we're looking for the V sound. So we can use the V to make the V sound, like in vet, or we can use VE to make the V sound, like in 12. Good job. Okay, so we are going to do a worksheet today on Cami, and I need to show it to you first so that you don't get confused. Oops, that is the wrong thing. Hold on one second. I'll open it over here. Okay, so I'm going to open it with Cami, and you can see I already worked on it with my class yesterday morning, but we're going to go over it together. So you are looking for the letter in the word that makes this sound. Okay, so we're looking for the letter that makes the J sound. So in the word jumping, which part of that word makes the J sound? The J, right? So we circled the J. Which part of the word magic makes the J sound? The G. Good, good. All right, and what about the word plunge? What part of that word makes the J sound? Plunge. Again, the G. Good job. So you're going to do that on these words. We have lunge, jacket, jet, legend, and hinge. So you're going to do those on your own. Now you're going to look for the letter that makes the V sound, or the letters that make the V sound. And the first one was the word vast. Vast. What part of that word made the V sound? The V. Good. The next word was 12. 12. What part of that word made the V sound? Now remember, we specifically talked about the word 12, and it's the V and the E together. So you need to make sure you circle both of them. And what about the word shelves? Shelves. Good. It should also be the V and the E. So you're going to do the rest of these on your own. You have the word having, visit, solve, vet, and elves. Okay, so you're going to do that page on your own today as part of your classwork. Right. So we're going to learn some new tricky words today. And remember, tricky words are words that do not play by the rules. They are not words that we can stretch out and listen for the sounds. They don't play by the rules. We just have to memorize them the way they spell them. Okay. The first word is what. What? What time is your bedtime? What time is your bedtime? So what part of that word, think about it, what part of that word sounds the way you expect it to hear? And what part of that word is tricky? Well, I know that when I say the word what, I hear the w, and I know WH together makes the w sound. So that part I expect. The t part. I know that T makes the t sound. So I expected that. The part that I did not expect was where the A makes an sound. W, t, instead of wat. That wouldn't make sense, would it? So the word is what. The tricky part is that A right there. The next word is where. Where is the dog? Where? What part of the word where is as you expected it to, and what part is tricky? Well, just like in the word what, the w part, w, I know that that's going to say the w sound, and I know that the R is going to pronounce the part, but the part that's tricky is that the E and the other E at the end, they make an sound instead of E, okay? Instead of we're, it's where. It makes like a short vowel sound. The next word is why. Why is the house so dirty? Why? So again, which part of that is tricky and which part did you expect to actually sound the way that it looks? The w part, again, makes a w sound, like a W sound. So I expected that. But usually when you have a Y, you hear y. But in this one, I hear I. So the fact that the Y makes a long I sound, that is a little tricky part. Why? And then our next word is the word from. From. It is important to know your right from left. From. So what part of that word is expected and what part was tricky for you? Okay, so I know that the f sound is made with an F, so that part I expected. The sound is made with an R, and the sound is made with an M. So those I expected, but the O in the middle makes like an sound, like a U should. So the tricky part is that the O sounds like an like a U sound. All right, so we have a new story today called The Fish. So today we're going to read a new story from our reader called The Cat Bandit. And there is another punctuation mark that we're going to look for in this story. What is this story here at? What do you think this is called? Have you guys seen these before? It's called a comma. A comma in a sentence means to take a tiny break when reading. Not a big break like a period, but a tiny break. So we're going to look at page 26 of The Cat Bandit. All right, so here we are on page 26, okay? So here we have a comma, and here we have commas. So it says, then rip. So did you hear the small pause in that sentence? I didn't just say then rip, I said then rip. So you take a small pause where that comma is. And then the next part said munch, munch, munch. I didn't just read the words munch, munch, munch. I read them with the pause in between. Munch, munch, munch. Good. So a comma never comes at the end of a sentence. It is always somewhere within the sentence, okay? It will never be at the end like a period or a question mark or an exclamation point. It will always be inside the sentence. Some of the vocabulary one of the vocabulary words for our story is the word lenses. And if you have glasses, the part that you look through, the glass part, or sunglasses, the parts you look through, those are called the lenses. So, what do you think the story is going to be about based on the title? Let's think about this before you make a prediction. We had the hot dog. What happened in the hot dog? The cat bandit stole the hot dog. Then we had the chicken nugget. What happened in the chicken nugget? Cat bandit stole the chicken nugget. Then we had the snack mix. What happened in that story? He stole the snack mix. Okay. And then now we have a story called The Fish. What do you think is going to happen now? And yesterday we had the ham. And what did he steal? The ham. So what do you think he's going to do to end this story? Well, we're going to read and see if our predictions are correct. I need to go back up to, I put this in the wrong slide. I'm going to make it smaller so we can see the whole page at one time. Okay, so here's the title or the cover of our book, The Cat Bandit. And if we look, here's the fish. What page does the fish start on? Page 22. Yes. Okay, so here we go. The fish. Once, Mom hung a fish up on a string. The cat bandit was scratching himself when he got a whiff of the fish. Quick as a flash, he ran into the kitchen. The bandit spotted the fish hanging on the string. He sat down to think up a plan to get the fish. Like there's the fish on the string, and there's the cat looking at it, thinking of his plan. How can he get that fish? The cat bandit ran and got Mom's glasses. He set the glasses on a bench that was in the sun. The sun shone on the two lenses of the glasses. The lenses glinted in the sun. The bandit slid the glasses a bit to the left. He slid the glasses until one of the lenses sent hot sun flashing onto the string. Then he sat. So what kind of string was it again? Did it say? Nope, it doesn't say yet, does it? Look at him. So he put the glasses on this table, and the sunlight is coming through the window, and it's reflecting off of the lenses up to the string. Well, what do you think is going to happen to that string? I'll have to read and find out. The sun from the glasses shone on the string. The string got hot. The wax on the string melted. Then, rip, the fish fell. Then, munch, munch, munch. That was the end of the fish. And here's our picture. Look at him. He's just walking off. He looks so proud of himself. He's walking off with that fish in his mouth like, ha ha, I got the fish. All right. So let's pretend that the lenses in the glasses did not cause the string wax to melt. What other way could the cat bandit have gotten the fish? What are some other ways that he could have gotten that fish down? I want you to turn. Sorry, I got a hair on my nose. Turn and tell your learning partner or your grown-up what you think the cat bandit could have done other than melting the wax on the string to get the fish. So you can pause the video and then turn and talk to your partner and then push play when you're done. Okay, so I was thinking that maybe he could have like jumped Like someone in class today said he could jump and like claw at it to try to get it down. So that could be one way that he did it. How would the story end if the cat bandit couldn't get the fish? I want you to pause and turn and tell your partner. How would the story have ended if the cat bandit couldn't get the fish? I think that maybe the story could have ended by him trying and falling off the counter. He would have at least been trying to get the fish, right? So if the fish was for the family to eat, like if it was their dinner, what do you predict that they would do when they found out that the fish had been eaten by the cat bandit? How do you think they would have felt and what would they have done? So pause the video and turn and talk to your partner. So I know if I had the fish for dinner for my family and I came home and I saw that my cat had taken the fish and eaten it, I would have been very upset. And I probably would have like punished her somehow. I don't know how, but I probably would have punished her. So what patterns do you see in the cat bandit's adventures? So what does he do every time in every story? What did he do in the hot dog? What did he do in the chicken nuggets? What did he do in the snack mix? What did he do in the ham? What has he done in the fish? In every story, what is the cat bandit doing? He's stealing food and eating the human's food. Good. So how would you describe the family that lives with the cat bandit? How would you describe them? Pause the video and turn and tell your partner. So I would describe that family as they don't seem to take care of their cat as well as I would, because first of all, I wouldn't leave my food laying around for the cat to get to, because the cat doesn't know that some foods are dangerous, and if they eat them, they could get sick. So they don't seem to be the type of family that is worried about that. They kind of just leave their stuff wherever, and the cat can get to it. So what was the cat bandit trying to get this time? What was he trying to get? The fish. Good. And what does he use to capture light and heat from the sun's rays? That's right. He used the lenses in Mom's glasses to catch the heat and the light from the sun's rays. All right, so we have one more worksheet to go over. Now, 17.2, you already have that. It's just the story, okay? And you already have that, and I'll show you in Google Classroom where it's at. But I do want to show you page 17.3. Okay, so here are some tricky words. You have how, down, do, why, where, from, of, was, and what. You're going to take these tricky words and you're going to put them in the correct spot in the story, okay? So we did part of these today. It says the cat bandit was resting on a quilt when he got a whiff of the ham. So we need to go ahead and mark out was and of, okay? So you're going to take the story and you're going to find the tricky word that fits in the proper place, okay? Make sure that it makes sense. When you're done, you stretch it out. I'm sorry. Read it to yourself. Make sure it sounds right. I want you to create a text box. When I did this afternoon, I was using my big board at school and I can't type on the big board. But what I want you to do is make a text box, okay? So that way you can type your answers rather than try to write them on the screen. All right, so that is your second activity for today. So our learning targets for today were I can read sounds from the consonant code flipbook, and we did that. We learned about the J sound with the G and the E, and we learned about the V sound with the V and the E. I can read tricky words, and we went over new tricky words today. We did what and why and where and from. And I can ask and answer questions about key details in the story, The Fish. And we did. We had 7 questions today that we asked and answered. So you guys did a great job today. I want to show you quickly where your work is for phonics today. So if you are in our Google Classroom page, go to classwork, and today is phonics. So don't forget you have a new fluency passage that you need to be doing. I'm not really sure how people have turned this in yet though, because it clearly says turn in on Monday or Tuesday. And today is only Wednesday and it's not due until the next week. So I'm not sure how that's done yet. But anyway, make sure you're doing your fluency passage. Make sure you're practicing your spelling words. Okay, so right here it says Wednesday, phonics, the fish, and workbook. Okay, so here's your story, The Fish. Okay, so you can click the story open to read it. Here is the first page we did together. Okay, this one right here, so that's there. And then here is the page where you have to use your tricky words. All right, so there is your work for Wednesday, September 24th. Oh, nope, 23rd, sorry. And that's all that I have for you today. So make sure you watch today's lesson. Make sure you're working on your spelling words and doing your fluency. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. I can't get it to shut down.